What's going on, everyone? So we have some updates in regards to Walker Kessler and a potential trade. So according to Eric Pincus, the Utah Jazz don't appear to have Walker Kessler in their future plans, that he doesn't appear to be a part of kind of the foundation in which Danny Ainge is looking to build upon, right? Now, they have Lauri Markkanen, right? Lauri Markkanen, he's not 23, right? So it's kind of like, you kind of have this need to kind of expedite things, right? So they're willing to potentially unload Walker Kessler. They're not just going to give him away, but for the right price or the right player, right piece, they may be open to making that move. It was also reported that the Jazz and the Knicks have had multiple conversations about a potential trade for Walker Kessler. We know a couple months ago that supposedly, again, reported, that Walker Kessler, they offered 2 firsts. The New York Knicks offered 2 firsts for Walker Kessler and was denied. So what comes of it? Do the Jazz finally, say, okay, fine, we'll just take the Knicks first, or do they kind of wait and be patient in this regard? Now, look, I've talked about, I believe things will start picking back up here in the next about week or two, right? Still about a month away from training camp. And so teams are just kind of being patient, kind of, going about the behind the scenes work, getting their players back from Team USA, and, players are starting to work on their games and all that, like starting to see the ramp up getting into training camp, right? So teams, organizations, coaches, all this stuff are starting to make their preparations, kind of map out what they want to do. So I do believe that once you get 2 weeks out from training camp, that I think you'll start seeing teams, like Portland, who's like, we really don't want Jeremy Grant going into training camp. Now, how much does the asking price drop, right? A lot of these teams right now still have this insane asking price, and I do think some of them, if not maybe all of them, will drop. But here's the thing, there's a difference between 2 firsts and a first. There's a difference between 2 firsts, unprotected, and, okay, fine, we'll take 2 firsts, but you can protect them however you want. Or 1 first unprotected and 1, fully protected, whatever. Right? There's a lot of variables that can go into teams lowering their asking price, right? Which still would be a high asking price, right? If Portland is not willing to relinquish their price of 2 firsts, then they're probably stuck with Jeremy Grant. But if they say, hey, tell you what, we'll just do it for a first, let's work this out, then I do think the Lakers would make the move for that. For me, with Walker Kessler, he's a piece that I really want the Lakers to go and acquire. Multitude of reasons, right? I have my player list in my mind of who I think is worth, the juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak. And I have Zach LaVine at the top. I know some people don't really like the idea of Zach LaVine. To me, Zach LaVine gives us the highest ceiling, right? I think Zach LaVine, if he works and healthy and everyone's good, and I think that he just raises the ceiling for the Lakers much higher than a Jeremy Grant or a, Walker Kessler by himself or a Cam Thomas or a Cam Johnson or anything like that, right? Now, I do think if you get a Jeremy Grant and a, say a Bruce Brown, now I think, yes, now that you're getting back to that ceiling raise, right? But I look at Zach LaVine, you don't have to give up a bunch of assets. Him by himself would be the greatest increase as far as production on the court, wins, all that stuff, right? Where Jeremy Grant by himself, he makes you better, but it's marginally, right? Where I think Zach LaVine has the potential to get there. Second on that list for me is Walker Kessler. And it's not solely just where I think he puts the Lakers, because I don't think by himself it makes us to the level of Zach, now we're just this huge team. To me, it makes us better. It's cheaper because we still get to keep pretty much everybody, right? But it's more of now and the future. Right? So with Walker Kessler, not only do you get a piece that can help now and make a big impact now, make the Lakers better now, however that scale ends up becoming, it's you now have your center and foundation piece for the future. Now you don't have to go and try to figure that out, and you don't have to, you have a piece that it's not like, man, we only have this guy for the next 2 years alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron and stuff, right? And then now we got to kind of find the new center. No, you have that center now for the next 10 plus years, right? So I do think that that is a factor in potentially trading for Walker Kessler. I also like the idea of Walker Kessler because, again, he is so cheap that you can go make another move. Obviously, it depends on the assets that you're looking for, right? Again, people look at it and go, well, the Knicks offered 2 firsts and they turned that down. But not all firsts are created equal, right? Danny Ainge himself has said publicly that he believes the Lakers picks are the best picks on the market because he believes when LeBron James and Anthony Davis ride off into the sunset, the Lakers are going to be a dumpster fire. And he might not be wrong, and he's willing to bet on it. It's why when everybody else was like, for Russell Westbrook, it's going to take 2 firsts just to unload him. That's not even getting players back. That's just to unload him. And Danny Ainge said, tell you what, I'll do it for 1 unprotected first. I'll also help you go get D'Angelo Russell. I'll also give you Jared Vanderbilt, and I'll give you Malik Beasley, right? All for 1 protected first. Why? Because he's willing to bet on the Lakers being bad, right? So to me, again, you could remove the protections and give up a first for Walker Kessler, right? And then now you still have a first plus pick swaps plus seconds to now go make another. Maybe you're still making the Jeremy Grant trade, right? Maybe you are pulling off that move, getting that done, and you're bringing in a Walker Kessler and a Jeremy Grant, right? Or, maybe you can get Walker Kessler, Jeremy Grant, and then maybe you could get like a Bruce Brown for like a pick swap rather than just a first straight up, right? Because he is overpaid. He is an expiring. There is the risk of him leaving. Now you basically just brought in 3, like you just filled all your holes, right? Center, 3-and-D wing, and a point of attack guard, right? Boom, you got everything. Let's go try to win a championship here, right? So to me, I think Walker Kessler is a cheap enough piece with enough upside and also helps you now and the foreseeable future, right? So it's kind of a win-win on all fronts. Where if you look at the Knicks picks, right? The Knicks picks are they're a young, very good, talented team, right? So they are a team that if you look at 3-4 years down the road, are probably still going to be very good and potentially winning championships and competing for titles and all that stuff. So they're a team that is going to be good for a while, right? Where the Lakers, again, he's looking at it as like Lakers have like 2, maybe 3 years and then they're terrible. And those picks are out where, so would you rather have potential lottery picks or would you rather have picks that are in the 20s to maybe even 30 range or at best, maybe they're like top, 15 to 20, right? Or would you rather have the lottery picks? So Danny Ainge is open to that. So I'm hoping that Rob Pelinka and the Lakers got to at least touch base. Got to at least do your due diligence. Right? You got to at least pick up that phone and go, hey, let's try to work this out. Right? I don't even hate the idea of taking on like a Colin Sexton in that move, right? Work it out to where, hey, we'll even take Colin Sexton, give you D'Lo so you clear some salary. Boom, it's a win-win, right? Where Colin Sexton kind of gives you a lot of the same stuff D'Lo does, the shooting, but he also gives you the athleticism, right? And when he's locked in and engaged defensively, he's better defensively. It's just getting him focused on the defensive side. But like if you had to do something like that, I wouldn't take like a John Collins or any of that, but like somebody like a Colin Sexton, if you can get him in the deal, right, to kind of like incentivize further, like, yeah, the Knicks are going to give you 2 firsts, but we'll give you, a unprotected first, and we'll remove the protection on that 2027 pick. Okay, fine, we'll also take Colin Sexton, right? I wouldn't just take Colin Sexton, just take him, but if it's kind of like, again, that last little nudge of like, hey, we'll remove protections. We'll give you an unprotected first. What do you think? All right, fine. We'll take Colin Sexton type thing, right? Boom. Now you bring in Colin Sexton. You help them clear off some salary. You help them, get a couple draft picks. Lakers get a center for now in the future. Your hope with those picks is to get somebody like Walker Kessler. I mean, Walker Kessler is young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft, right? So to me, I mean, he's younger than Dalton Connect, if I'm not mistaken, by not by a long slide, but marginally, right? So to me, it's just like you're getting the piece for now and the future. You're getting somebody that can come in, move right into the starting spot, the backup spot, however you want to approach it, right? If you want to go big, if you want to go small, maybe certain matchups he starts. Excellent rim protector, right? He's shown the ability to stretch the floor. Obviously, he needs work. Obviously, he's a project. Obviously, he needs development. But he's a 8-8 guy in limited minutes. His per 36 is 14-12 with 3.5 blocks a game. That's great, right? If he could basically be a double-double guy off the bench for us and give you 2 blocks a game, that's all you need, right? And he's shown that his ability to make plays out of the post. I really like the idea of Walker Kessler. Like I said, Zach LaVine is probably my favorite just because, again, the upside, and you get to keep all your picks and all that stuff, so you can still make other moves. You can still go get Walker Kessler. You can go get both. Go get Zach LaVine and Walker Kessler. Let's go win a championship. Whew. But something like that, right? Have him, have Walker Kessler. Again, it's not, for me, it's not that Walker Kessler's better than Jeremy Grant or John. It's not that. It's he comes in, fills a need that the Lakers have, but also is a long-term piece. Where even a Jeremy Grant, you're only going to have for, till his contract's up and then you're getting rid of him. Where Walker Kessler, you're looking at, again, the next 10 years. You have your center for the long haul. So you don't have to worry about okay, well, now who's our center after Anthony Davis? Or, even alongside Anthony Davis, however you want to look at it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of going and getting Walker Kessler? Do you think, no, stay away from Walker Kessler? Isn't worth it? Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.